What's going on, everybody? It's ShamefulPenguin here. Here are my 5 league starters for Path of Exile's 3.10 Delirium League. Delirium is about clearing the mobs on the maps in an efficient manner, so I've chosen builds that are appropriate for this league mechanic. Many of these builds are going to be great at killing bosses, but they're not going to excel like the builds in 3.9 Metamorph were. Now, enough about Delirium's league mechanics. I don't need to talk about that to you guys. You guys are interested in figuring out what build you're going to be doing for league start. And here's 5 builds that I really enjoy for league starters and I want to share with you guys. The first build I'm going to showcase is possibly my favorite to league start with, Caustic Arrow. This is my personal build on it. I made a Pathfinder Caustic Arrow. You guys, I recommend using Trickster instead. It's really easy to convert. You just have to change the starting points from Ranger to Shadow. Other than that, it's the exact same tree I would use. The tree I'm using here is super simple. It's pretty much similar to everyone else's builds. I kind of got like a group of all of the Caustic Arrow builds and kind of smushed them down to what I figured out what I liked about them, and this is what I came up with. I made a super easy league start version of everyone's Caustic Arrow builds, and it's super easy to do. Caustic Arrow I highly recommend for new players who haven't used it, and players who are super experienced with it and just want to dive through content, get through red tier maps like no problem. This build requires very little currency. The bows you just want plus levels on and life, and the rest of your gear you just pretty much want life and res until you get into spending more currency. Once you start spending more currency, you're gonna want to spend it on damage over time. Damage over time multiplier, chaos damage over time multiplier really help the build in the DPS, but you're really not going to need any of that until you hit yellow or red tiers. Once you'll breeze through the white tiers with your leveling items still. That's what I did in the past 2 leagues, and it's been super simple, so I decided last league to make a build guide on it. So yeah, I couldn't recommend this build more to you guys. This is the first build in the set of 5, but this build would be the build I would recommend the most for someone looking to get a damaging build, something they want to stick with for a couple of weeks. I actually ended up sticking with this build for like 3 or 4 weeks until I started another build because I enjoyed it so much last league. It did so much damage, especially with the small AoE buff they did last league. It really made the gameplay feel a lot smoother. Build number 2 is Animate Weapon. There's gonna be not as clear and concise as a build guide to this. I'm gonna leave some links to some possible builds I've been looking at. This is one of the league starts I might go with. I'm between 3 right now. I'm between this one, the next 2 actually. 2, 3, and 4 are the ones I'm stuck between for this league, and Animate Weapon just looks so strong. You're gonna see gameplay on the screen of Chains of Command, Animate Weapon, Animate Guardian. I used last league as my second or third build. I forget which one I did with it, but it is amazing. Its clear speed is crazy fast. Leveling super simple because you use zombies and skeletons to level up, and leveling up with them is super simple. If you haven't tried it, I recommend trying it out. I know summoners have a little bit of a bad rap because they were so popular for the past few leagues and they still didn't get nerfed that hard. Yes, they got nerfed a little bit, but Anime Weapon is going to be such a hot build, and it's not really a clear build, but I think it's going to be such a good and effective build this league. I had to put it on for you guys to just look into a little bit, and for you guys to check it out. Check out the links I'm gonna put down below for it, because Animate Weapon is gonna be a strong build this league, and we'll see how far we can go with it. Build number 3 is Arc Mines and Arc Trap. I kind of put them together because they fit the same mold of what I'm trying to do with this build. So this build I chose because it's a really strong build, and I forgot to mention this on the last few, but when you're using mines, traps, or dot builds like Vortex, Cold Snap, Caustic Arrow, Essence String, Contagion, Bane, when you're using those builds, you don't have to worry about reflect, elemental or physical reflect against your character. So when you're rolling for maps, usually when you're playing a build and you see that, you just got to instantly re-roll it or try to sell the map, especially if it's early in the league, because you cannot do those. With these builds, you don't have to worry about that a single bit. You can just run through those. You kind of actually look for those modifiers, because those modifiers actually give you the pack size and the rarity on the maps without you even having to deal with a single thing on the map. So I recommend Arc, Mine, and Trap, especially for Delirium, because mines are one of the best ways to kill bosses, and if you pair that with Arc is a crazy good clear skill, so it's going to be able to clear the map really effectively, and when you get to the boss, he's dead. You're just going to kill him right away. And same thing for traps. It's going to be a little easier to map with traps, but it's not going to be as effective as one like killing the boss super simple as with Arc is. So I recommend either Arc, Mine, or traps. They're going to be in the same category. I'm going to be recommending Pohx. His Arc, Mine, Saboteur from 3.9 is going to be applicable to this league. There is no major changes, so anything from 3.9 that you see about mines or traps are going to be converted onto 3.10 with ease, because there's no real big differences. So yeah, I recommend Pohx's video he did on his league starter. Take a look at that video. I'll be putting the POBs for all of these down below as well. If you don't feel like looking at the videos, you just kind of want to take a look at the POBs. So Arc Mines. For traps, I'm going to be linking Demi's Infinite Tinker. He's using Lightning Trap, but I recommend using Arc Trap in the place. It's pretty much the same thing. Just do everything he's leveling as except for use Arc. That's what I did. I believe in 3.7 or 3.8, and it worked flawlessly. It was an amazing build, and it's possibly what I'm going to be doing as my league start this league. So yeah, either check those out for the Arc, Mines, or Traps. They're going to be excellent league starters. Build number 4, I'm going to be recommending Blade Vortex. Blade Vortex is an excellent skill. It's been super popular since it's been invented. It's kind of like a staple to Path of Exile. When you see things in other games that kind of spin around you, it's like, oh, this kind of like Path of Exile's Blade Vortex. Many of you have already probably played it. There's hundreds of different ways to play it. There's not one way to play it ever since Elementalist was nerfed a while ago. But for a league start, I am going to be recommending a Chieftain as Blade Vortex. I've not personally done the Blade Vortex Chieftain. I have done a Assassin and a Elementalist in the past leagues for Blade Vortex. I like to use the Heralds, but Chieftain gets accessibility to Herald of Ash, as well as easy fire scaling ability. So this build's going to be very tanky, not require too much currency. It's not going to be too gear dependent. It's just going to be doing a lot of damage, and I mainly included this build not just because it's so good at bossing and clearing all together all in one, but we're going to get the new skill, which is Blade Blast. Blade Blast will detonate the blades that Blade Vortex creates to create an insane clear or DPS increase. Blade Blast really still needs to be tested to be 100% sure of what it is. I'm not making a top 5 best starter builds. I'm making top 5 starter builds that I'm recommending to you guys, and I want to have a little pizzazz. I want to have a little bit of difference in my builds that I choose. I know that Caustic Arrow is normie, Animate Weapon's been a little normie. Actually, all of them have been pretty normal, but whatever. Okay, Blade, Vortex, Chieftain is going to be super strong. It does a lot of damage. You're going to get the Herald of Ash pop. Possibly you can build into Blade Blast to do more of a pop. There's just going to be a lot of things going on that you could possibly test. So I recommend this build for all new and old players alike. New players will have the ability to experience a new skill that's going to definitely work in the league mechanic, because it's just about clearing and killing, and this build is super good at it. But old players that have done this build before, we're going to get the experience of possibly playing with Blade Blast, testing it out, seeing how much we like it, if it's going to be worthwhile to use. Maybe it's better in a different build and we can figure that out, if it has different types of scaling and whatnot. So yeah, this is why I'm possibly going with this build as well as my current league starter, because I really like testing out new skills every time they come out. They don't always work out, and I know that, but I have enough experience in the game that I feel that I can test it out, see what works, see what doesn't, and try to possibly fix it for later, see if it works in a different build. But I just like to experience all content. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Blade Vortex. It's going to be tanky, it's going to do a lot of damage, it's not going to be too gear dependent, and you can really milk this build with maximum currency to be a lot of damage. Wow, you've made it this far? Alright, so I'm going to be showing you the 5th build for this build guide. I know, it's going to be super amazing, right? It's Essence Drain Contagion. Yeah, sorry. You might have been hoping for something weird, but it says Essence Drain Contagion. I can't go in this starting guide without not talking about it. It's such an amazing skill. If you have not done Essence Drain Contagion and you've been like, I've been thinking about it, do it, please. Just, you'll thank yourself later for doing this build. It is amazing. It is pretty much a Caustic Arrow with just clearing them like off screen like crazy. It just like pew, 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 everything off screen is dead already. Like, you don't need to look at the right side of the map because everyone's gone. A little overestimation, my bad. But I enjoy scaling AoE in Essence Drain, but I know that players usually like to min-max DPS, so it's not ideal. So I've linked someone else's Essence Drain. I'll link my Essence Drain POB as well if you want to take a look at it. My goal whenever I play Essence Drain is just how much off-screen clearing can I do. So that's my priority. But other builds prioritize different things. It's just such a good build. Once you get 5 links on it, you're just gonna be in yellow maps pretty much. That's, you don't need much else. You just get a 5 link on any piece, any chest piece. No gear dependency. It's gonna be a Trickster most likely. Trickster excels at doing this build, and I'm gonna be suggesting Ghazzy's Essence Drain Contagion build because he makes excellent builds. Go follow him if you haven't. He makes amazing in-depth builds. Go check him out. His build actually has the option to go CI later on, and he shows you how to. Unfortunately, Ghazzy's YouTube has been hacked, so there's no build guide video if that's what you guys like to rely on. He just has a giant forum post on it, but you guys are going to be seeing my build on the screen, not his. So yeah, just take a look, see what you guys want, but that's going to conclude it for this build guide. If you guys are looking for builds that go super in depth in each build guide, check out the links I'm going to be leaving down below. They will show everything you're going to want to know about the build. This video is just a bunch of little teasers to spike everyone's interest in different builds, because I know when it comes to league starts, I'm crazy indecisive. So I look at everyone's different top league starters, and I just look for what's the most fun. I'm not really someone to look for what's going to be the best. I just want to do something that looks fun and Looks like something I'll be playing for weeks, and hopefully not one that I'm going to be like, I wish I went with something else afterwards. So that concludes it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys watched the full video, please leave a like so I know what you guys thought about the video. Your guys' support really helps me out, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Good luck with League Start. See ya!